Sorry, buddy, but we, you know, Warren Buffett and you're just like this much, not very much, but just like that much below him as a thought leader and a friend of the show. But what are your thoughts on this historic day?
Well, I think it is a historic day for the industry, and it really marks that the old production push business model is dead. You know, I was sitting here thinking I used to feel like the little Dutch boy with my finger in the dike holding back a tidal wave of overproduction that nobody wanted to buy as they tried to cover their high fixed cost, and they ruined residual values and drove customers away. Right. That business model was ended by the crash and by the brilliant leadership of the Automotive Task Force, and has really reinvented the industry. And just look at the profitability, even though industry sales are in absolute terms at the bottom of the trough depression levels. So you don't have to be a genius to look at volumes going back to 15, 16 million over the next several years, and an extraordinary profitability that's going to drive. And I've seen GM's production portfolio for the next several years. They did a fantastic job, and it was not disrupted by the bankruptcy. So the engineers and the designers still got all their work done through that very difficult period. And then I look at the fact that it's been little discussed that in this agreement, the unions have agreed not to strike for the next 5 years. So you have an extended period of labor peace. All their financing has been pushed out to 2015, so they don't have to do any refinancing for the next 5 years. And the domestics are taking share across the board for the first time in almost 2 decades. So it is sort of a benchmark of an historic day. Dracula is in the grave with a stake through the heart. It's a transformational moment for the auto industry, and it's just great to see.
Is there anything to the notion, Mike, that we brought it up earlier, that Ford did everything right and now they did things so well that maybe they're not at a competitive disadvantage, and maybe they get some maybe they have some people in there that don't want to buy, you know, something from what people would call government motors. So maybe there's, you know, maybe they get some benefits from that. But what about just GM being in such a strong position with its balance sheet after being able to go through what it's been through, and Ford had to do it the right way, and you know, I might feel a little bit miffed at this point, but I don't think Mullally does.
I would say this. One of the heroes in this whole transformation is absolutely Alan Mullally and Bill Ford for going out and recruiting him and hiring him. Not only did he turn around Ford Motor Company, but at that Pearl Harbor moment that Warren Buffett was talking about earlier, he went to Washington, even though he didn't need a bailout, and said it was the right thing to do for the industry and the right thing to do for the country, and that was a very courageous thing to do. Now, he has been rewarded for that step in the marketplace. The American people saw that, and Ford has gained an incredible goodwill to their brand, probably picked up 100 or 200 basis points of goodwill and share from the American people for not having taken a government bailout, which is priceless. So maybe they have a little more debt on their balance sheet. The labor agreements are in line, but the goodwill they got from the American people was priceless, and Alan is one of my heroes for his leadership through that period.
Hey, Mike, what are your thoughts? I spoke to some people that attended the road show over in Europe, and this company has been really positioned by the bankers in terms of selling it as a pure-play emerging market company. China and the rest of the emerging markets. But as you point out, this is still going to be a domestic market that's going to impact this company going forward. So what are your thoughts about that in terms of what may happen in 2011? Because a lot of people that may participate in this transaction have to be reminded it's all about the U.S. auto market as well.
I think it all starts with the U.S. auto market, and I think that was one of the fatal flaws that existed in the past when these companies would talk about their positions overseas and, oh, never mind that we are losing a small fortune here in the U.S., we can cover it with our operations. These companies must be successful and must make money in the U.S. Now, granted, when I look at GM and I look at their global footprint, particularly in the emerging markets in China, it's outstanding. But all that is a lot of icing on the cake. At the end of the day, they have to be successful here in the U.S., and I think they are positioned to be successful here in the U.S.
All right. Thank you, Michael. I was looking at that shot. It
Good
looks
seeing
like,
everybody this morning.
looks like the Medusa, the snake. So that's a tree behind you, but it's like, woo, it's kind of weird from, see it? Kind of to his left.
All right, we'll deal with it, Joe.
He's is that Rockefeller?
No, that's down. That's a beautiful Fort Lauderdale shot, I think, isn't it? Yeah. But
I'm suffering here in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
It's only 70 degrees, sunny day.
All right. Great. Thanks, Michael.